Yo, yo, just gotta share this. Okay. All right. What is good? Um, YouTube deleted my stream before I even went live. My I'm gonna have to be more careful with the thumbnails. They're cracking down on me before I even go live. Thumbnails was a bit too spicy today. Let me just share this. Getting deleted before I even start. That's YouTube. I don't know if it's a very good platform. Got to maybe consider going somewhere else. I'll ride it till the wheels fall off. I guess I'll have to be careful with the thumbnails. But I had the transparency down very, very low on the image I used. I mean, today I want to talk about having I basically was going to be talking about having a threesome, but so I used I used an image that I took while it wasn't very explicit, but they still removed it. I thought I'd get away with it because the the text that was over it was basically two booties, and kind of like yesterday's thumbnail, but it was two girls. Imagine yesterday's thumbnail if you saw yesterday's video, but with two girls. So I don't know. I guess I won't be able to use those kind of images anymore, but it is what it is. Yeah, I wonder what other kind of platforms. I heard there's something called DLive. I'll have to check it out, but it's just annoying having to get, try and build up a following, and then you get smashed with the ban hammer. But it's the struggle. Censorship is seriously whack. Let me see. Yeah, so if you're in the chat, let me know who you are. I'm basically just gonna be talking about how I think is the best way to have a threesome, because I've done it quite a few times, and it seems that there is definitely a method to doing it. It's not, you're not just swinging in the dark, hoping that you will land upon two chicks that are gonna just open the jump in bed with you. You have to be more tactful than that. But yeah, it's definitely something that you need to plan. It's not something that you're gonna come across. That might happen like once. If you're waiting for a threesome to happen, like randomly, like just hoping that you're gonna come across two chicks in a bar that are gonna come home with you, I mean, it can happen, but it's kind of a rare occurrence. So you got to plan it, and today I want to talk about that. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't know. It's definitely something that I recommend guys, every guy has to do. It's just such a thing that I mean most guys fantasize about it, but they never get around to doing it. Um, yeah. So anyway, whoever's uh, A to Z says thoughts on condom use. I mean, obviously, you should use a condom, but it's obviously a lot better without a condom. I mean, I used to be like, I used to always like, I used to always wear a condom, and I mean, I really, hands up in the air. Listen, sometimes you let your guard down. It's not because I'm drunk or anything. It's not to do with like being too drunk and just being too lazy to use a condom. No, sometimes you just get caught up in the moment, and you know you just throw it in there, and it's amazing. But yeah, obviously, you should use a condom, but it's just sometimes you know. Robert P says thoughts on catching the HIV from. Yeah, I mean, you got to assess the situation. You got to. There's certainly, you know, you, if you're going to be playing that game, if you catch something, you only have yourself to blame. So you want to, you can catch, like, it's, the chances of catching it are very, very slim. But if you're not going to be using a condom, um you gotta you gotta accept the consequences. That's just the way it is. So obviously, you know you don't want to knock up some chick that, because we all sleep with girls that you wouldn't even want to date, let alone have a kid with. God damn it, so. But I mean, sometimes you let your guard down. But obviously, if I'm giving advice, I would say just, like, yeah, wear a condom. But yeah, I'm not perfect either. Sometimes it's just like, god damn, it's just I got to a point. I got to a point where I was so, like, I wore a condom like literally 100% of the time. Like, even with girls that would be regulars, it got to a point where I, like, fetishized. Like, it built up as a fetish about going in raw, like not using a condom. That became like something that was like super attractive to me, and I guess it still is. But just because I would always use a condom. But I guess you want to be taking care of your health. I mean, it's more likely you're going to get something like herpes or chlamydia if you don't use a condom. It's most likely not going to be AIDS, but it's just play it safe, I would say. Obviously, I think we all know this. We all know the risks. If you wake up one morning and your piss is stinging, you might reconsider going in raw, because with the all these chicks, they're sleeping around a lot. So you know, um, I mean, there's just so much sex going on. These chicks are getting these chicks are getting raw dogged by other guys. So you definitely want to take that in. You don't want to be thinking about that. But so if you don't want to wake up one morning when your piss is burning your dick, throw on a condom. Uh, it's still good. I mean, yeah. So, long story short, yeah, I recommend wearing a condom. But I'm not gonna be one. You got to learn the hard way. If you're not gonna do it, and you're gonna be a player. Certainly, if you're a player, you got to, you got to probably use a condom a lot more because you're going to be sleeping with a lot of chicks. Um, so it's a you're eventually going to get something. If you're a player, if you're sleeping with as many girls as I do, and you're not using a condom, you're eventually going to get something. You know what I mean? There's so you have to take care. Um, it's kind of a lot of times it's pretty obvious too. There's times when it's extremely extremely obvious that you should definitely wear a condom just by the type of girl you're sleeping with. And then there's other times where it's like, I could probably get away with not wearing a condom, but then you're talking about, you might get her pregnant, you know, going in there raw, but it's all you gotta, what is Robert says, if you have her in a rotation, make her do blood tests. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you can go down that road. I've never gotten chicks to do blood tests because, like I said, I was always one to use a condom almost 100% of the time. It's just occasionally I would slip off, fall off I would just like maybe not get caught up in the moment. Not the greatest idea to do, but god damn it, just the pussy is so much better when you go in there raw. But there's a price to be paid. There's a price to be paid for everything. Every goddamn thing, there's a price to be paid. You'll eventually pay that price. Trust me on that one. Nice try, was it Guvna? Do you find it in hard being a player during these Corona lockdown times? Hmm. I mean, luckily, you see, the thing is, I'm in Tokyo, Japan. So Japan had a lockdown, and it lasted a month or something, and it was a voluntary lockdown at that. And there was no laws, like I could go anywhere, do anything. Um, it meant there was just less women. Um, let's see, MLD in the house. Did they smashed Mika? Good job. Yes, smash and dash, pump and dump, living that life. Hot dude life in Tokyo. MLD probably went in raw. But yeah, I mean, you know, uh, Corona, man, Corona, yeah, it does. Of course, it affected the game. Like, it's these are the time, like there was just less chicks out on the streets, and chicks are the most NPC, you know, the most NPC ever, because they lap up the propaganda like no like much more than guys. So chicks and beta males lap up any kind of propaganda, official media, mainstream media. Chicks will believe that. They'll think you're a real weirdo if you disagree with, or if you say that the bear bug is just the flu or something. They will they'll think you're a weirdo. They'll try, they just, you're not part of the group. Uh, when chicks think that you're kind of straying away from the herd, they'll get freaked out because it's evolution. I mean, women have evolved over millions of years to want to be, they needed to be accepted by the herd, because if they weren't accepted by the herd, then their lives would be over, because there's no a woman would not survive on her own in the wild, whereas men, they're a little less prone to propaganda, because even if we're ostracized from polite society, we can actually, there's a much higher chance that we can actually survive on our own. We'll get on with life. We're stronger. So it's in their nature to just believe everything, want to be accepted, they want to take the safest positions on things in society. So yeah, of course, even in Japan, where the lockdown was probably the softest in the world, where we were just free to go about our business pretty much as usual. Yeah, there was just less people around, so it did affect it. But it didn't mean I had nothing. I mean, I was still doing day game. I was still doing online. It was I made it work. I mean, when you have game skills, you can make it work. So nice try, Govna says we are in a month lockdown right now in England. Bad times, terrible times, man. Terrible, terrible times. I don't envy you. I feel bad for you, bro. I hope I don't know. I really hope it changes. I can't believe it's almost we're going into 2021 and we're still talking about this bullshit. Damn. I mean, Japan is pretty much as completely normal now. The only thing is, like I said, people wear masks. 99% of people wear masks. So just yeah, I don't know. Just do what you got to do. Don't give up. Just keep trying to do your thing. Adapt to the situation. Let's see what we got. Robert P says, well, if you're not locked down in your basement, well, like we are in Europe, here we just can't. Winston's in the house, says, what's a condom? Good stuff. Raw dogging. Yeah, I mean, everyone likes the raw dog. I mean, there's nothing better than going in raw, but, as long as there is a price to be paid, but MLD says Trump won North Carolina. Crickets from the media. Oh baby, it will be the best victory, the greatest ownage of all time, if Big Daddy Trump gets into the White House. Well, he's already in the house. If he stays in the White House, it'll be phenomenal entertainment. But I just want it to happen just because I think if Biden's in the White House, then I mean, even with Trump in the White House, we had lockdowns. But can you imagine if Biden gets in? That'll not be good. Yeah, so I've been straying off topic, but basically, let's see. Robert P says, if he stays, we need some liberal tears, Smugs. Yeah, I mean, definitely. There's going to be a lot of tears. There's going to be a lot of broken windows. A lot of Nike stores smashed up. Ironically, Nike support all this kind of progressiveness and stuff. This kind of fascist liberalism. It's a real joke to see. Going to be Jordan season. Yeah, there'll be plenty of Jordans. It'll be just pure entertainment. And I hope I don't know. I think people need to get armed. If I was in America, I would be just armed to the teeth. I would be locked up. I would have submachine guns. I'd be like, yo, if you want to come and try and attack me or smash up my business or my house or whatever, you're gonna get lit up. I would light people up. I would just I mean, just if you're gonna fight by the sword, you have to be willing to die by the sword. So I don't know. These people are bringing the fight. These lefties are bringing the fight to or most of these people are ordinary people too. Just they will they'll end up paying the price, but hopefully we see Big Daddy Trump in the White House, just so it's less it just less cooked. Let's just say less cooked because America, even with Trump, is still cooked. But it'll be a real joke if Biden's in there. Yeah, guys, Emma, smash the like button there. Get those likes up. Get those likes up. Yeah, but today I just want to talk about how I'll go about getting threesomes with girls, and it basically boils down to finding a girl, one girl that is down for having a threesome. Like I said, it never usually it it's really good. It's going to be real unlikely that you're going to come across two chicks at the same time that will just be down to get freaky. Um, you know, it's funny. A lot of girls will say that they're kind of like will say that they're bisexual just to. I think they kind of say it just to like get attention. They're not really bisexual. They're not entirely disgusted by other girls, and they go and they kind of say they're bisexual, but they don't mean it. Um, I've noticed that a lot. And when it comes down to actually having a threesome, if you say would you ever have a threesome, they're like, oh no, I mean maybe, but I don't know. They'll say something like, yeah, I like girls, but and then I'll be like, yo, let's have a threesome, and they'll be like, oh, but I prefer to just have one by myself. They'll make up some excuse. They're just basically telling you they're not really bisexual. They're like, I mean, if you're really bisexual, you would be down to have a threesome, like for sure. Um, it's just I see it a lot on dating apps. Girls will be like, I'm bisexual. You'll match with them. You will, you'll be like, you'll get talking with them, and you might say, have you ever had a threesome? And they'd be like, oh no, I like to have only one on one, and it's like they're just saying they're bisexual just to get free attention, more attention, because they know every guy likes that, and but anyway, that's just a side point. But the thing is, you need to actually find a girl that is just basically freaky. You need to, instead of trying to find two girls at the same time, you need to find one girl, relentlessly search for one girl that's like a freak, and you can like basically, you gotta have good, like you gotta layer good. You gotta have you gotta have good dick game basically, um, so that you've impressed her enough with your abilities, let's just say, so that she's open-minded. Like she'll be open to doing new things with you, and you don't bring something up, like you don't usually bring something like this up before you've done it. I'm talking about the girl, that your main chick, the girl that you're going to use to have a threesome, because like I said, you can't try and find two girls at the same time, because that's just too difficult. But what you do is you find one girl that is on board, and she needs to be fully on board, not like fake, like, oh yeah, maybe I'll have a threesome, or like, I might do it sometime, or like, I don't know, I like girls, but I prefer one on one, like these kind of bullshit lies, like, um what you want to get is a girl that is just like, open to do anything. um just and It's when you have a girl like that, you won't believe how easy it is to have a threesome. When you have a girl that is fully on board, you can just like, you can you can go out yourself. You can be sourcing girls yourself, in bars, in online, in nightclubs. Like, you just come clean, you hook up with them, you come clean, say, I have a girlfriend, or yeah, whatever, and we're looking for another girl like you, and you try and you tell them you want to have a threesome with them, most of them will be like no. But I've sourced girls that way, where I've gone out and sourced. So I have my main girl, and then I've sourced another girl myself, because I have one girl that is 100% down, that will just be like on call, like she'll come anytime. And like that's important, because if you have one girl, it'll come on board, come over anytime. That makes the whole process so much easier. Like it'll just come together. So another way you can do it is you can go out with your main plate, the girl that's down for the threesome, and you can go to a nightclub, you can go to bars, and you can just source. You can, like, she's your wingman, she's your wing woman, like you're both like flirting, trying to get other girls. And this was kind of shocking to me. What's up, Brent? Um, yeah, this was kind of shocking to me when I first, did this. I was so surprised at how easy it was to find another girl to have a threesome with. Um, like obviously you need to be in a good venue. You need to be in a place that has a lot of chicks milling around, and chicks, ideally girls that are alone. Whenever you're in a nightclub, whenever you're in a bar and you see a girl that's alone, like she's out, she's like, she means business usually. She will, she's looking for something. So usually, just approach, the two of the two of us literally approach the girl and offer to buy her a drink. And when a guy and a girl approach a girl that's alone, I don't know, girls are way friendlier. Just on average, they'll be like, they'll be receptive. They won't definitely won't ghost you. When you're with a girl and you approach another girl, they'll be, more receptive. And when you off, there's something that's conveyed, like I don't know, there's a subcommunication. There's a subcommunication that is conveyed, that you're offering to buy her drink. They kind of know what's going on, almost. It's but it's just, I remember the first time I ever did this. The very first time I went out with a girl to try and find another girl to have a threesome, we the very first girl we approached, like, came home with us. Like, we just bought her a drink, and we just started, the girl I was with was so down to have a threesome that she did a lot of the talking, in fairness. But like, we the conversation after getting a drink and talking for a bit, the conversation like turned kind of sexual. Like, you asked her, oh, have you ever had a threesome? And she's like, no, but I'd like to, and I'd be interested. And so that was like, bingo, okay, this one is like a good candidate. So the first time, and yeah, she just basically, we just invited her to come back to mine for a few drinks, or just to chill. And she was like, yeah, maybe. And we're like, come on, let's go. And we just went and brought her back and had a good time. But it really was ridiculously easy. Another way you can do it is online. It's just, I mean, you can make a profile on Tinder or whatever with your main plate, and that's another way to do it. And yeah, that's probably, maybe that's, if you make a good profile, if it looks good. I would say it's not even as good as, it's not as easy as it was, doing it in real life, when I was actually with my main plate in a bar or a club. That was eye opening. That's, as Winston says, like the pre-selection. Like, when you're with a hot chick in a club or a bar, that's like serious pre-selection. Pre-selection, I've seen it so many times. It's worked. Like it really is real. If you're with a really good looking chick, even if she's not good look, even if she's average, like girls will take note. If you're a half decent guy, if you're reasonably well put together, you'll get so much more attention when you're with a decent looking girl than you would whether if you were alone, like or with your guy friends. When you, it's just something is it's just the pre-selection is really powerful with chicks, and yeah, it's yeah. I've said this before, but the time that I've had pre-selection happen many times, but the one that stands out most in my memory is the time I was in college, and I was there was always this chick that I would hit on, and she would reject me. Hottest girl, probably one of the hottest girls in my university, and she just had a perfect booty. Oh, it was it was spectacularly good. But she rejected me. But there was one time I was out. There was some event on, and I was making out with this chick, and I opened my eye. I like while I was making out, I opened my eyes, and who the chick that the hottest chick that I always used to hit on that used to reject me was staring like looking at me. That was incredibly hot, by the way. While I was making out, literally while I was kissing this girl, and she had this like naughty little grin on her face, and I was like, "Oh damn, she is a kinky bitch." But you know, I went and approached her later that night. When I realized when I saw, and you know, I took her home that night. But that just goes to show, like, she went from like outright rejection, like I really was being a, you know, yeah, I was being persistent with this chick, and she just didn't give me the time of day. Like, I mean, I'm talking like probably made an attempt at her like four times, and she was a rude bitch too. She go like would just literally just walk away from me. But I just want to smash it. Uh, and you know, I just I got the she saw the pre-selection, and took her home and smashed her, and it was really good. Um, I don't think I used a condom that night. that's that's for sure. But that was back in the day. Um, but you know, you just got to understand, like you just like it's almost good to be try and get seen with hot chicks. Like if you can be seen, if you even have like you can have you just try and show yourself off with hot chicks, and you know it's incredibly powerful. Um, but that was such a blatant example of pre-selection, and it was you know it's the one that stands out the most. But then you know I've seen it working then when actually I was going to have try and have a threesome. Blew my mind. Like I couldn't believe it. Like when you go out with a girl that is on your arm and she's hot, and you're looking for another girl, it's easier to hook up with another with like to have a threesome than it is to like get a girl by yourself. And that's like that I mean like in my experience, I don't know, like it's and I know it wasn't just a coincidence, because I've done this like not I didn't just do this one time. I've done this like, five or six times with this one particular chick, and it always worked out. That doesn't happen when you're out going out alone. You don't get success like almost like every time. I think we had like almost every time it worked out, and that's how if you've one girl that's down, girls are open to have a lot of girls are open to trying new things, but you just come across as much more, I guess, trustworthy when you're with a girl. Girls gotta have that kind of safety. They all want like a bad boy, but they also want that kind of like safety net. so it's kind of, they want the best of both worlds. They want to hook up with a bad boy, like a player, but they also want to feel kind of safe. It's kind of a bit of a contradiction, but female nature is very contradictory too. Robert P says, "Yeah, one step got a hot side bitch to get some more bitches." I mean, it works. If you chicks, if you're seen with a hot chick, especially in a club, you'll be like, chicks will pay attention. Especially when I'm in Japan and I'm walking down the street with by myself. You know, even if I'm dressed well and I think I look good, I won't get that much. It'll be rare enough that I'd get some obvious like female attention. It won't happen that. Sometimes it does happen. I get some nice. I get some looks, or like some smiles or some grins, but it's very rare, especially in Japan. But when I'm with another chick and we're walking around, I get so many looks. They'll like look me up and down, like they'll like check me out. They look at her, just makes them curious, especially because I'm a foreigner, probably. But you know, um, Henry P says, a man who is civilized yet dangerous at the same time. Yeah, it's a very attractive quality in a man. Uh, Girls want a man that has the potential to be very dangerous, but is civilized, a so-called gentleman, but is capable of inflicting serious harm. Uh, they want that kind of contrast. Anything with contrast is good. So the contrast of a man that is like bad, but also like kind of like, I wouldn't say safe, is it just creates some kind of attraction that women find very attractive. You know, but so yeah, it basically boils down to, yeah, like I said, finding one woman that will be on board, and that's just other than, how else are you gonna do it? Like, you're gonna go like swinging in the dark. Any other way is kind of just relying on hope or chance. Like if you're going to nightclubs and you're, or bars, and you're like, oh, like I'll try and like get two girls home. Like think about it. Think about it, how that's not gonna happen really. Like it might happen, like that kind of like rant to, like, if it's a crazy party and two chicks are just feeling wild, it could. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but there's no strategy behind that. It's more of a chance, just a random chance that that's going to happen. But if you really want to make it happen, like it's just something in your life you want to, a lot of guys just want to tick that one off the box, want to tick off, honestly, guys, it's the best feeling in the world too. Like when you have two naked chicks like in bed with you, and like you're just getting it on, you feel like the first time you do it, you'll feel like a real boss. Like it's a good time. I mean, I really enjoy it. I highly recommend it. But so, but if you want to make it happen, you have to make it happen. You have to strategize it, and just don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to bring it up with chicks. Like, just don't. You should have no inhibitions like about what you want to do in your sex life. Of course, yeah, as long as it's legal. But like, you're just trying to be living the most hedonistic life. I mean, life is short. I mean, you might as well do, if it's something you don't want to do, then I mean, you don't need to do it. I don't know why any straight man would not want to have a threesome though. Sometimes guys tell me, like, with a straight face, that, oh, I prefer, one is good enough for me, and I'm like, I just can't relate to a guy that would think like that. The only way I can understand maybe a guy that would say that is a guy that says maybe he might think that he doesn't have the confidence to pull it off. Like even if he had two women like in bed with him, he might say, "Oh, one is good enough for me," because he thinks that he might not be able to perform, or he might get nervous or something. That's that's the only reason a guy might say that one is enough. That's my opinion. I That's what I think. I think like if he thought, if he had the confidence, he who would not enjoy having two hot women at the same time? The more the merrier. The more the merrier for sure. Robert P says everybody would do the max number if possible. The max number. I mean, there is a point where it might get like because I wouldn't say the max number. I would because I mean the more women there are, obviously, the more the more women you have to satisfy. It would actually become because you obviously want the women to actually be getting off too. I would say any more than two. Of course, I would like to do like more than two. I'd like to try like three girls, like because I've never done that. That would be something. But if you're going more than three, even three would be a lot, and they'd have to genuinely be all kind of bisexual. Because if they're not really, if they're just kind of half doing it just to satisfy you, just to satisfy the guy, then it's not going to be as good because then you're kind of like there's going to be one girl that's just kind of doing nothing, and that's why the times I've done it, like the girls have genuinely been like bisexual, like from what like, and if they weren't, then they were extremely good actors because they were having a good time. So honestly, two is definitely ideal. Um, like but three, I would like to try three. But more than three, that's gonna get a little bit crowded. But I mean, I wouldn't say no. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying, maybe I would like. I mean, I'm open to new experiences, but like that, if I'm, but honestly, you got to start off with two. If you're gonna go down that route, yeah, two is definitely enough to start off with, for sure. But yeah, it's definitely possible. You got to think that it's possible first before you try and do it. Um, but it's entirely possible. I mean, I never thought when I first started doing game, when I first started becoming a player, or even before I was a player, when I was like blue pilled, I never thought I would. It's always something I fantasized about, but it was like, oh, like it's one of those things that you think, oh, I could never do that, or that's never going to happen for me. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible, especially in this day and age. I mean, I keep saying it, like enjoy the decline, and this is like one of the things. Like we live in a time where it's like if you have game, if you're a player, if you're red pilled and you have game and you have your shit together, you can do all this. This is all like um, entirely possible. You just have to realize that it is possible, and like there's never been a better time like to indulge in these kind of things. I mean, if one girl, if it's just something that it isn't on your to-do list, I don't know any guys that that doesn't have a threesome on their bucket list. Who the hell wouldn't want that? Like I said, the only guys I think say that are guys that think they don't have, they're not confident enough they think they mightn't actually be able to perform or whatever. They might get stage fright or something. But trust me, I didn't get stage fright. It's it's because I just have no inhibitions. Um, it's but if you're not going to say no to having a threesome if you're going to be as hard as a rock. Um, Nice guy Govna says, how much do you think having money factors into being a player? Money doesn't. Money is a bonus point. Money is a bonus. Like you're playing a video game. We're all playing a video game. Life's a fucking video game, right? And we're all like, going through life, and you're playing by the normal rules, and then you get the cheat codes. Money's kind of like the cheat code. You don't need it. You don't need money. Like, of course, you need a certain amount of money to live and look after yourself, but to get laid, you don't need money if you have game. But money makes things. Money is like the extras. Money are like the extra points that help you get laid. They can help you. It's like it's like everything. The phrase. Money doesn't make you happy, but it helps. Of course, it helps. Um, it depends on. It depends. You gotta evaluate yourself too. You gotta understand. Like, try and assess. Like, look at yourself in the mirror. Like, look where you're at. Look at your physical condition. Look at money, muscles, game. Look at look at your muscles. Look at your physicality. Look at yourself butt naked in the mirror and say, judge yourself. How do I score? Like, am I a 5? Am I a 6? Am I a 7? Am I 8? Am I 9? Am I 10? Judge yourself honestly. And then, if you score like really low in the looks category, you're gonna have to do some work on that first of all. You have to work on the things that you can change, right? There's you can't change your height, things like that. You can't change. I don't know if you've a missing arm, you can't change that. So you're gonna have to make up for something like with really good game. So you have to you know you get really really solid, smooth with your game, and you can make up for like maybe not being the best looking guy, um, even being an ugly guy. You can if you dress well, if you've solid game, and you're just doing your best in terms of fitness and everything, you can make up for these things. And the same thing goes for money. You can build yourself up if you're like a high status guy with money, but um, you know, if I've seen guys that look like, to be quite honest, look like shit. Physically, I mean, they might dress well, but their physicality is shit. They're like well overweight, like really, really overweight. But their game is so good that they're still able to get laid. So, of course, the thing is they leave pussy on the table. They don't get laid as much because they're not doing it, putting in enough work, um, regarding fitness, health, but they still get laid. Long story, short answer to your question: money helps, but it's not necessary. There's always going to be gold. There's going to be girls that will never sleep with a guy that doesn't have a certain amount of money, and you know what I mean. They're just their standards are so high, but there's going to be tons of other girls that don't really care. They care about money, but if your game is good enough, and they'll be open to banging. Um, game is number one. Like, always remember, game is the most important when it comes to having sex. Uh, you know, looks come second, and money is like like I said, bonus. It certainly helps. I mean, if you've all that's why if you combine three, if you're trying to maximize every category, you'll be on fire. You'll be unstoppable. You'll just be you're lit. You're just going to be a very attractive guy. If you're scoring high in the looks, money, status, you're not going to have a problem. Um, let's see. Money is like installing DLH back in the day. Yeah, so it's just like, it's kind of like cheat codes. I mean, it's yeah, I'd be lying if I said money doesn't help. Uh, but I was an English teacher. I still teach English, but um, so I'm not like a wealthy dude. So I've been getting like ridiculous amounts of pussy for years now. Like, I mean, so I don't rely on money, but I've been around money. Like, I mean when I was in like when I go to a club, I'm with some high rollers, MLD, and sometimes we're in VIP. I see it with my own two eyes. I see how much of a bonus it is to be, because if you're in a VIP in Japan, that's a super status kind of thing. And I could just pull chicks. I can just wave at girls and they'll come in. And like Trump says, they will let you. It's all consensual. They will let you grab them by the pussy. It's the reality. They're like, because you're high status, and you're firing all cylinders. Your looks, money, status. Because when I go to a club, I dress well and I try and look my best, and I'm always working on my fitness. I'm so if you're firing on all cylinders, boom, you're gonna have a good time. Um, but yeah, that's like clubs are all about status. You really female nature is like really on display in clubs. Like if you're going to a club, you gotta understand, like, if you gotta have the status. You're always gonna be swimming against the tide, if against the current, if if you're not rolling with some status, or if you don't have like some, because it's just a real kind of, what am I trying to say? It's just I don't know. It's primal or whatever. We're all in there just milling around in a dark room drinking alcohol, and it's just it's kind of, yeah, the alphas come out on top. Like, clubs are not for beta dudes. You're not going to get laid. You're not going to do well if you're a beta guy going. You have to be a savage in a club. You have to be like aggressive and like, not, like I said this before, not in a literally aggressive, like angry way. I mean in a fun loving, like active way. Like you're at and you have to just be bouncing around and trying to just get going up to chicks, talking to, like, if you get rejected, just relentlessly go on to the other one. And these are the guys that get like, that are successful in clubs, not the guys that are like contemplating, like, trying to approach some chick for like 10 minutes and then like some pathetic approach, and then she just like literally ghosts him. He just wasted 10 minutes trying to approach her and she just literally ghosted him. And meanwhile, the Chad guy comes up and just grabs her fucking hand and takes her into VIP, and then takes her home and bangs her. I always remember I was on a date with some girl, and we were talking about clubs in Tokyo. She asked me, do I like going to clubs, and I said sometimes. And we brought up like a famous club, and she said she used to go to this famous club in Tokyo. It's called One Oak. And I said, yeah, I've been there a few times. And she was like, oh yeah, I used to go there all the time. Red flag, because this place is like, it's just such a, yeah, it's just the type of girls that go there. Yeah, there's some of them are hot, but I don't know, maybe Gold Digger would be a good guy. They like foreigners. They like, rich foreigners. They like, they like the alpha type, and they definitely don't like nice guys. But she said this. She was like, "Oh yeah, but I don't like that place anymore because some guy grabbed my ass and he wasn't even good looking." And I was like, "Oh really?" And she was like, "Yeah, he wasn't. He was such a creep. He wasn't even good looking." And then she, out of nowhere, she just said, if he was good looking, at least, I might have let him away with, I might have, I can't remember what she said, but she said something along those lines. Like, the fact that he wasn't good looking, like, really pissed her off. And then, like, he wasn't, she said that if he was good looking, she might have, like, it would have been okay. She basically said if he was good looking, it would have been okay. These are the type of girls that go to these, go to clubs. And that's just a fact. Obviously, I don't, you don't go around grabbing girls you don't go around grabbing girls, but like, like, I've just seen some crazy things. Like, I mean, uh, just, the truth is, like, the guys that behave like assholes get the women. That's, use your imagination, but that's like a fully, like, 100% true story, and I've seen it with my own two eyes, where guys will be in clubs and be the most obnoxious bastards, most ignorant motherfuckers, and they'll, these are the kind of guys that will get the women, and they'll get a lot of women, and you know, that's why clubs are shit. Clubs are shit. I mean, they can be all right, but you know, it's a competition. When you go to a club, it's a competition. If that's what you're there for, if you're there hoping to get laid, if you're there, you're not. You gotta understand that, it's not about chivalry. Won't get you shit in a club. Being chivalry chivalry will get you. I don't know. Just get you ignored. You just be a ghost. You won't be any. You'll be nothing. Um, you know, like I say, it goes back to that they want the contrast of a guy that's, they want a guy that's like a, maybe, like, you want to always want to have some contrast. You want to have something going on, whether it's like you look dangerous but you're a gentleman, or you want to have some contrast going on. There's one thing you don't want to do is sit in the corner and like, be meekly approaching women. You gotta be like active as hell, and you gotta stand out. You gotta have something that stands out about you in a club. Um, I don't know how I started talking about clubs, but it's back to the money point. But it's certainly not going to help. It's certainly not going to help. I mean, if you have money, it's gonna make you more attractive to everyone around you. Um, Winston says, "I thought everyone forgot about DLH." Yeah, so you know, yeah, you gotta, like, as we all know in this circle, you gotta make yourself your own. Uh, you gotta focus on your purpose. You gotta make yourself your own. You gotta have stuff going on in your life, and you gotta constantly be working on yourself, uh, just to make yourself a more attractive guy. Because that's how we guys get revenge. That's how we do. We get rejected. We get rejected by these girls, and we use that as motivation to, like, improve ourselves. And these chicks, they'll reject us, and then they'll look back on us. They'll see what's going on, and they'll want a bit of that action. Um, and this is so evident when, as you get older. Like, I'm 32, and when girls that are my age, the girls that I grew up with, I would, like, honestly, I would never, like, I would never date any of them now. Yeah, and I'm coming up, and it's back in the day, I might have gotten rejected by these girls. And look, I'm coming up now, and they're, guys, we age like wine, women age like milk. It's a fact. And if anyone tries to deny that fact, this is, when we're talking about the sexual marketplace, this is just a fact of life. This cannot be denied. No matter what feminism tries to bring to the table, no matter what, what anyone says, it's biology, it's science. Like, it's just, it's just one of those undeniable facts of life. And I'm never gonna be cowed by the mob. I don't care. I can never ignore the facts of life. I'll never be, like, cowed down. I don't know. I'd rather just, you know I hate to see a world where we're all like, we just get totally cocked by these, by just the by the feminism that's going on, and the progressiveness, and just the blatant dismissal of reality. It's just, like, not something I'm gonna ever. I'd rather die, to be honest. It was just like, I don't want to. I'd rather be like ostracized from society and be penalized, and than have to like suck up and be a cock to these fucking liars. Um, I'm just gonna live my life and be honest about the reality and take advantage of the decline. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna enjoy the decline. I'm gonna get involved and take advantage of free sex and these you know and everyone should like we're not it's not going to change. It's just yeah, especially if Biden gets in, it'll be like, I don't know, it'll be just out of control. Hypergamy will be really out of control. Women will really lose the run of themselves if America sleeps. They already have, but yeah, so I don't know. I guess I went on a bit of a rant tonight, but hopefully it gave some insights into you know how to have a threesome. It's really quite simple, but you gotta take action. Um, by the way, guys, I basically launched a new service on my website. You should check it out. Basically, I have there is some premium content with access to my blog and webinar, and also a Telegram chat. So you get like three things. You get like a blog, access to the blog, webinar, and the Telegram chat. And the main reason I wanted to do that is because I wanted to put more explicit things on the blog, which I'll be updating like weekly. And yeah, so if you're interested, go to my website, check it out in the description, and have a look at that premium content. Um, I'll be doing a webinar once a month if you register to that, and you'll have access to the blog with more. If you've been reading the blog, you'll see that it's kind of some of it's kind of explicit, but I wanted to put more explicit, more detail into it. So that's kind of why I wanted to put it behind a paywall. So if you think that's something interested, obviously the webinars will be about day game, anything to do with game, anything to do with increasing your lay count, getting rotations going. That's the kind of stuff. So check it out in the description. So yeah, like as usual, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow for another episode of Player Life. As usual, have a good one. Have a good day wherever you're at. Peace out. Catch you tomorrow. Bye bye.